logging truck accident in Athens County. Plus, a popular abortion pill will stay on the market. And with home prices rising, how can you detect the hidden costs of home ownership? Newswatch starts right now.
At least 4 people have been injured after a crash involving a logging truck in Athens County. Good evening, I'm Shane Scalfaro. Welcome to Newswatch. We're bringing you a live report from State Route 50 where a crash occurred involving a logging truck. Newswatch reporter Donovan Varney is live with the details.
Yeah, Shane, I'm right off of State Route 50 by the Rolling Hills Baptist Church, where you can see behind me the scene of a car crash. Ohio State Highway Patrol and Richland Fire and Rescue have reported to the scene. What we know so far is that 2 vehicles were involved in the accident, one of which was a semi-truck hauling logs. OHP says 4 people were transported from the scene with injuries, and witnesses to the crash say at least 1 person had to be med-flighted. As of right now, Highway Patrol cannot confirm if any of the injuries are life-threatening. Currently, the Ohio Department of Transportation has the right southbound lane of State Route 50 blocked off, as well as a portion of Radford Road where the accident occurred. While different crews continue to clean up the scene, law enforcement has declined any further comment. We'll keep you updated as we find out more information. Reporting for Newswatch, I'm Donovan Varney, live in Athens County.
Thanks, Donovan. The Athens County Solid Waste District is moving forward with a $24 annual parcel fee for property owners. Solid Waste District Director Jane Forrest Redfern says she also submitted a grant application for over $2.7 million to buy the recycling center and advanced other projects. If the district gets the grant, the parcel fees will lower to $20. The district will hold public hearings on the fees in Athens on June 25th, Nelsonville on July 2nd, and Logan on July 11th. A final vote on the fees will take place the week of July 15th. The Athens County Land Reutilization Corporation is building 13 new housing units with a $1.39 million grant. The Survivor Advocacy Outreach Program will be working on the land bank on the project. Buildings will be constructed in the Plains, Albany, Nelsonville, and Gloucester. SIOP Executive Director Jen Seifert says 13 homes is just a small portion of what we need.
Housing at all levels. We need starter homes, manufactured homes, $300,000, $400,000 model homes. We need it all, and we need it 30 years ago.
Seifert says the project is still in the beginning stages, so she doesn't know when construction will begin. The Nelsonville Water Department is issuing a boil order until noon on Saturday. Residents on Edwards, Frank, Williams, John, and Frederick Streets are going to be affected, as well as residents on Grover to John Street and Madison Street to the end of the line on State Route 278. The boil order is necessary because of a tie-in to a new water line. The city is asking those who are affected to boil their cooking and drinking water for 3 minutes before being used. Total enrollment at Ohio University is trending up from the upcoming school year. Current numbers show a 10% increase compared to this time last year. OU also has a record 27,000 applications, up 7% from last year. The Board of Trustees heard the updated figures during their meeting in Dublin today. Tomorrow, the board will vote on raising tuition by 3% and room and board by 4.6%. If you plan to visit a West Union Street business this week, you may have to be patient. Access to some businesses will be blocked for up to 90 minutes this weekend. Tomorrow, contractor Shelley and Sands will begin paving closed portions of the road from the bridge towards the hospital entrance. Businesses that have multiple access points will maintain one for most of the time. As for businesses with only one entrance, there will be no access for 30 to 90 minutes. On Saturday, crews will begin placing asphalt on Harold Avenue to Hospital Drive. A second layer of asphalt will also be placed during the project. Businesses may be without access for 30 minutes during that time. A section of an Ohio highway could be dedicated to Athens graduate and NFL quarterback Joe Burrow. The Ohio House has passed a bill which names 29 roads and bridges across the state. House Bill 316 is part of the bill, and it designates a section of US 33 as Joe Burrow Highway. The stretch of road is near Athens High School, which is home to Joe Burrow Stadium. Now, the legislation makes its way to the Ohio Senate for consideration. Tomorrow, the Columbus Air Show is returning back to Rickenbacker Airport for the weekend. The United States Air Force Thunderbirds will headline the event. Other performances will include the Navy's FA-18 Super Hornet demonstration team and a Top Gun-themed F-18 complete with Maverick and Iceman impersonators. Gates are open from 9 to 5 tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday. Tickets for people 16 and over are $65. Kids under 16 get in free when accompanied by an adult ticket holder.
For our first look at weather today, you can see over these past 24 hours, we've had those temperatures really dip under those 50s last night. But once we got into the day, we really ramped up those temperatures. Right now in Athens, we're seeing temperatures as high as 87, and those temperatures are just going to keep on ramping up as we get into our weekend. We're going to be seeing currently out there Athens 86 as we go a little bit more north, Lancaster 85, and as we go more south, they're still on that warm up in Huntington of 87. We're going to be seeing tonight, we're not going to be cooling down too much looking into those nighttime hours. That overnight low 62. It will feel quite pleasant out there if you do want to take a little bit of a later stroll in case you didn't want to get in the peak heat of the day. We're going to continue with those mostly clear skies for tonight. Looking at that radar, you can see just how clear it has been throughout our day today. It has just been another beautiful day out there, but we are looking at some rain looking as soon as tomorrow. On this radar, we're really going to be seeing how isolated and kind of spotty these showers are, but they could impact us looking as soon as tomorrow, giving us that 40% chance of thunderstorms for tomorrow. That is going to be kind of spotty, isolated showers, but it will be giving us quite a little bit of an inconvenience if you want to head out for that air show. We're going to be looking at after Sunday, we're going to be looking at temperatures in those record highs. Let's take it back over to Shane.
Thanks, Isabel. Cleveland Mayor Justin Bibb was in a car accident this morning. That's the mayor sitting in a nearby bus shelter after the wreck. Authorities say a minivan T-boned his SUV in downtown Cleveland. The city says the mayor, his driver, and the other party were not injured, but Mayor Bibb was taken to the hospital for evaluation. Cleveland police are investigating the crash. Classic Delight in St. Mary's is issuing a recall on individually wrapped sandwiches due to potential contamination. The recall began after samples tested positive for Listeria monocytogenes. While healthy individuals may only experience short-term symptoms, Listeria infections have been linked to stillbirths and miscarriages. 14 products were impacted and distributed to 7 states, including Ohio. For a full list of recalled products, visit fda.gov. Ohio has one of the highest infant mortality rates in the country, but a recently passed House bill is looking to help. The Strong Foundations Act provides services to both infants and new moms. They include health care, early intervention, and wraparound services. Implementing the plan will cost over $30 million in each of the next 2 years. Now the legislation is headed to the Ohio Senate. Coming up, the Supreme Court takes a side in the Starbucks unionization case, and Russia takes its espionage case to court.
How we're going to be looking at some rain tomorrow, but after that rain, we're really going to be ramping up and even get into some historical highs. Next on Newswatch.
These are the best home cooks in the country.
This is a really delicious plate of food.
That smells good.
We want something that's gonna be beautiful. Good luck.
I'm a Southern boy, so I like to fry it or grill it or smoke it.
Food is my love language. If I'm not cooking for you, I don't love you.
This dish just makes me happy.
That salmon fire. I'm coming, Tim.
Tiffany's en route.
Monday at 9 on WOUB.
Let's start at the beginning, shall we? I can't wait.
Back in the game, bringing the thunder, I'm making waves.
People will be watching your every move. I can handle it. Let's go.
So, what's your secret?
Things are starting to move in the right direction.
I'm coming.
Tell us everything.
Are you ready for more? Just getting started, locked on the target.
no one is going to tell me who I can or can't be.
Troubles, honey?
Like you wouldn't believe.
Hop in.
Every day, I see the evidence of all that love can do.
Whatever happens, we'll be together.
There's nowhere else in the world I'd rather be.
This was perfect.
The Supreme Court ruled that a popular abortion pill will stay on the market. Mifepristone can end pregnancies that are less than 10 weeks along. A high court rejected a lawsuit challenging the FDA's approach to regulating the drug. The ruling allows the pill to continue to be mailed to patients without an in-person doctor's visit. The unanimous opinion said doctors and anti-abortion groups didn't have standing to sue. This is the first major Supreme Court case on reproductive rights since the court's conservative majority overturned Roe v. Wade. Senate Republicans in a procedural vote blocked a bill that would guarantee access to in vitro fertilization nationwide. The measure was put forth by Democrats and fell short of the 60 votes needed to advance. Republicans called the legislation a political stunt, saying there are currently no restrictions on IVF. Democrats say it's about protecting reproductive freedoms in the wake of the Supreme Court's overturning of Roe v. Wade 2 years ago. The Right to IVF Act would enshrine into federal law a person's right to receive IVF treatment as well as a doctor's right to provide it. Starbucks wins a Supreme Court dispute with federal agency today involving a labor dispute with 7 employees who had attempted to unionize. The employees, known as the Memphis 7, were fired after trying to unionize their store in Memphis, Tennessee, and were blocked by the National Labor Relations Board. The NLRB is a federal agency made to protect workers' rights. This decision could make it harder for the NLRB to temporarily halt what it views as unfair labor practices, including a company's right to dismiss workers who are involved in unionizing efforts. Amidst rising political tension globally because of wars in Ukraine and Gaza, this is setting the stage for high-stakes discussions at G7, the summit in Puglia, Italy. Brian Abel now with more from Washington.
Leaders of some of the world's most powerful economies meeting today in Italy. President Joe Biden sending a message to Russia by doubling down on the United States' support of Ukraine with new sanctions against more than 300 Russian entities and individuals, and joining other G7 leaders in approving a $50 billion loan package financed by profits from frozen Russian assets. A Russian Foreign Ministry spokesperson Thursday warning of painful retaliation.
I think it's going to be very helpful to make clear to Putin that Ukraine is going to have funding that will extend even beyond this year's American aid package of $61 billion.
President Biden and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky also agreeing to a long-term security pact that would see the U.S. continue to train Ukrainian forces, provide military intelligence, and cooperate with the production of equipment, including weapons, for 10 years if future U.S. administrations honor the agreement.
Our goal is to strengthen Ukraine's credible defense and deterrence capabilities for the long term.
This is an agreement on steps to guarantee sustainable peace, and therefore it benefits everyone in the world.
A session on the Middle East also on the G7 agenda, where President Biden looks to rally support from fellow leaders for a ceasefire and hostage deal between Israel and Hamas, with the White House's National Security Advisor saying progress on this and Ukraine will be the measure of success for the summit. In Washington, Brian Abel reporting.
Russia has formally sent its espionage case against jailed U.S. reporter Evan Georgievich to court. The Wall Street Journal reporter has been detained in Moscow since March of 2023 after he was arrested and charged with spying. The Russian government official announced they determined the writer collected secret defense and military information under instruction from the CIA. Georgievich, his employer, and the U.S. government have denied the accusations. He's the first journalist to be arrested on such charges since the Cold War. Isabel, you know, it's been a hot one there today, but it's not summer yet, but it's really felt like it.
Yeah, it's almost summertime. A week today, it will be summertime. And I talked to AEP about some things that you can do to prepare your house for the season. On things that keep you cool, making sure your AC and your fans are in the best conditions possible. Turn up that thermostat a couple of degrees to save money. As long as it's cooler inside than it is outside, you'll be comfortable. And those appliances that heat your home, make sure that they're only used in cooler parts of the day. For that full look at weather, you can see you're not going to be wanting to use those appliances quite yet. It is still in those 80s. We're going to be seeing Athens 86 as we go a little bit more north, Lancaster 85, and as we go more south, Huntington at 87. We're going to be seeing tonight that overnight low of 62. Those mostly clear skies are going to be continuing, but we're going to see some clouds and some rain rolling in looking as soon as tomorrow. We're going to see that 40% chance of thunderstorms, a little bit cooler with those cloud cover. We're going to be at that temperature high of 84 in that low of 56, a little bit more like yesterday than today. We're going to be seeing on that radar that this system that is coming in, it is going to be looking like it's going to be giving us some severe weather, but if anything, it is going to be kind of missing us, giving us just that slight chance of some thunderstorms, isolated thunderstorms here and there, but anything, it is going to be pretty much dissipating, giving us just those pop-up showers here and there. We're going to be seeing 12 hours ahead. Like I said, this kind of looks like quite a serious system. It is going to be looking like it's going to be breaking apart before it hits us in southeast Ohio. Looking at this time tomorrow, we're going to be seeing how it's kind of breaking apart. It's getting less severe. We're still going to have those chances, of course, but it is going to be dissipating, giving us just a little bit of that chance of rain. Looking at on Saturday morning, we're going to have this cloud cover coming in. We're going to be seeing those same kind of spottiness of those clouds, but we're going to be warming up. It is going to be giving us a lot of humidity, and it's going to be making those warm temperatures feel warmer than they would be if it was a drier day. Once we're looking at Saturday night, we're going to be having that kind of go away, but that humidity, that stickiness is going to be sticking around. Looking at our look for the next 6 to 10 days, we're looking at parts of Ohio 90 to 80% warmer than expected. It's going to be giving us those temperatures in those mid 90s and beyond once we look at Sunday. So these next couple of days, it will be on that cooler side. We're going to see those 80s on Friday, on Saturday, but once we hit Sunday, we're going to be in those 90s every day until this time next week. We're going to be seeing that those clouds are going to be sticking around just a little bit with those mostly sunny skies on Saturday and Sunday. By Monday, very hot. Monday and Tuesday are going to be looking like our most humid and muggy and very hot days. Wednesday, it's going to be not as muggy, but we are going to be seeing just those temperatures right at that same point with those almost 100-degree temperatures on Wednesday. And on Thursday, this time next week, there is that 50% chance of rain. That mugginess is going to be coming back in, and we're really going to be seeing that chance of rain this time next week. So definitely enjoy these last few days. We've had that little bit of a cool down earlier this week, but once we hit this weekend, we're going to be ramping it up. Make sure that you're getting outside just in those times that it's not too hot out there. And next week, be extra careful whenever you're heading outside. You're going to be needing to put on that sunscreen. Those clouds are really going away looking at Monday and Wednesday. So definitely put on that sunscreen. Those temperature lows aren't even going to be touching those 60s. We're going to be in the 70s even in those nighttime hours. So definitely make sure that you're keeping safe in this severe heat. We're going to be really going to be watching this, looking at next week. So definitely stick back with us. Let's take it back over to Shane.
Thanks, Isabel. Microsoft is accepting responsibility for the cybersecurity failures cited in a U.S. government-backed report. Company President Brad Smith is testifying about the impact of Microsoft's cybersecurity shortfalls. This hearing comes after the U.S. Cyber Safety Review Board issued a report in April that found Microsoft committed several, quote, avoidable errors that allowed Chinese hackers to breach its network. The hackers were able to get into the email accounts of senior U.S. officials, including the Secretary of Commerce. Smith says Microsoft has spent months overhauling its cybersecurity practices. Next, renewing your passport may become easier with a new change. And for the latest from Newswatch, follow us on X, formerly Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube.
For more than 70 years, WOUB Public Media has been the place where people in our region turn to learn how stories of the past ignite the imagination of the future. It's where information, entertainment, and education work together to inform, enlighten, and inspire generations. It's the place where the community gathers to hear and see our world in new and innovative ways. WOUB, the public media you trust that's worthy of your support.
There have always been those of us looking for stories that keep us alive.
You're born to this world to make a difference.
It's about building systems that will save lives.
Ya solo ese pasto se está acabando. Es una especie en peligro de extinción.
No one is the same. Everybody is so unique.
This November's election will be critical. We will be electing a new president, a new Congress, and scores of state and local leaders. We'll be asked to approve initiatives from abortion to taxes to education. Do you know what's at stake? Will your voice be heard? Many states have made changes on where, when, and how you can vote. To find out what's on your ballot and what you need to know to make sure your vote is counted, go to pbs.org/preservingdemocracy.
There's a lot of places we weren't allowed to go.
There was a black school called Lincoln Elementary.
We knew they weren't going to let us in.
We marched every day, whether it was rain, sunshine, cold.
I feel enormous pride in my mother for standing up the way she did.
Wednesday at 6:30 on WOUB.
A new State Department program may soon make it a lot easier to renew your passport. The department has begun testing an updated system for online passport renewals. The program will accept a small amount of online applications daily for the first few months and then gradually ramp up operations. The goal is to have 2/3 of passport renewals completed online once the program is fully up and running. However, renewing online doesn't make the process time any faster. You'll still have to actually wait to receive your passport in the mail. As owning a home becomes more costly for many Americans, mortgage payments aren't the only thing on the rise. The hidden costs of home ownerships are also surging. Reporter Michael Yoshida shares more on what you need to know about these costs.
The price for owning a home rapidly rising. A new Bankrate study finding U.S. homeowners are now paying on average a little more than $18,000 a year on expenses linked to owning and maintaining a home.
These are the things that aren't part of the price of the home. They're not part of your monthly principal and interest payment. These are the extras.
Things like utility bills and other expenses, property taxes, and the big one, according to Bankrate, maintenance costs, all of which add up to higher hidden expenses compared to just 4 years ago.
Inflation overall was up 21% cumulatively, and the price or the cost of maintaining a home was up 26% according to our estimate.
Ostrowski says the goal of the survey was to raise awareness of these growing costs, particularly among first-time home buyers.
They've been scrimping and saving to get a down payment together. They finally qualified for the mortgage. They get to the closing table and they think, oh, we're at the finish line. But really, they're just at a starting line for another race, which is figuring out how to pay for these ongoing costs of homeownership.
Jennifer Branchini with the National Association of Realtors offers this advice: advanced inspections, getting a home warranty, taking a look at similar homes and their history of costs.
So that when they're looking at their overall budget and preparing an offer, that they're making sure they have those funds set aside for that.
In Washington, I'm Michael Yoshida reporting.
Branchini also suggests potential buyers take a look at insurance rates or even the ability to get insured, an issue and future costs she says can catch people off guard. Still ahead, how this farmer made a historic discovery. But first, here's a look at what's coming up tonight on your public television station.
Can the love of a good man tame a wild and free woman? Or will she be his ruin? Or worse? That's Carmen, more moving than ever in this modern-day production of Bizet's tragic opera. Thrill to the sensational Igola Kamechina, Piotr Bachawa, Angel Blue, and Kyle Kettleson in Carmen. On great performances at the Met.
Friday at 9 on WOUB.
Let's start at the beginning, shall we?
I can't wait.
Back in the game, bringing the thunder. I'm making waves.
People will be watching your every move.
I can handle it. Let's go.
So, what's your secret?
Things are starting to move in the right direction.
Tell us everything.
Are you ready for more? Just getting started. Locked on the target. Are you ready for more? No one is going to tell me who I can or can't be. Troubles, honey? Like you wouldn't believe. Hop in. Every day, I see the evidence of all that love can do. Are you ready for
Whatever happens, we'll be together.
There's nowhere else in the world I'd rather be. This was perfect.
In hospital, you deal with cases. On the district, you deal with people. When mothers come to us, they bring everything they are with them.
There's nothing nicer than a fresh start.
You have done your best. Sometimes our best must be enough.
We're gonna take good care of you. We're with you now.
Finally tonight, a fossil found by an avocado farmer has been confirmed as a new species of pterosaur. Kevin Peterson is a farmer and the curator of a fossil museum in Queensland, Australia. He found the fossil in 2021. Since then, scientists studying it have concluded it was a unique species. Researchers say the pterosaur was a winged carnivore reptile that lived around 100 million years ago. It is also believed the giant creature was the first vertebrate to evolve the ability of flight. The fossils will now be housed in Peterson's museum. Okay, now this is the coolest thing ever. I mean, he found a new species, and it was maybe the first to fly. That's awesome.
The first to fly. I feel like, I know it's not quite a dinosaur, it's the cousin of a dinosaur, but if anything, it is still just as cool to see something that prehistoric in your avocado farm.
So, like, the most random place to find it, too.
And apparently, if he has his own, like, little fossil museum thing, I guess he really likes these fossils that he's finding. Well, looking at our final look at weather tonight, we're going to be seeing currently out there, we're at 86, those clear skies continuing. Tonight, we're going to be seeing that overnight low at 62. Definitely a little bit of a warmer night than we've been having these last couple days. So definitely head out there if you weren't in that beating sun today. We're going to have those mostly clear skies going into tonight. Looking at tomorrow, those sunny skies aren't going to be sticking around. We're going to have that 40% chance of thunderstorms. That chance of thunderstorms is going to be kind of looming throughout the day. We're going to be having just those isolated little blobs of rain that we're going to be having. Anytime that you're going to see that rain, there is that little bit of a chance that you can get some thunder from it. That high of 84, that temperature low of 56, a little bit chillier than we're going to be having today. Looking at our weekend, we're going to be seeing that Saturday, that's whenever that sun comes back up, we're still going to be in those 80s. And then looking at your Father's Day Sunday, we're going to be at 93 for that high. We're going to continue those mostly sunny skies, and that temperature low is going to be at 67, definitely a warm one. And once we go, we're going to be seeing these really rare temperature highs looking at next week. We're going to be seeing after Sunday that we're going to be in those 90s every day. We're going to be seeing very hot, all in those in a row. We're going to be having some kind of dangerous heat levels, and they're looking pretty historical. So definitely stick back with us to see just how hot we're going to get.
And that does it for our broadcast this evening. Thanks for watching. For Isabel Isco, I'm Shane Scalfaro. Stay tuned for the PBS NewsHour coming up next. And remember, you can find the latest news anytime at woub.org or follow us on social media. Have a great night.